You see, the God that I speak of, the God of strength, we never see this God with our physical eyes. And I recognize the way that we see God, experience God, is through our works. When we step out there, take the chance, embrace the opportunity, run the risk, if you will. It's the way we really express God is through what the Bible calls our fruits. And if you know the fruit, the mango is everywhere lately. The mango did not begin a full, complete fruit. That mango, it began as a few nutrients and chemicals and molecules of water underground, if you will. And then there was this intelligence of God that we call a tree that transformed some minerals, in the ground with some water that it soaked up, and with sunlight, which we understand is intelligence, made a transformation that only a tree can do. And so each one of you are able to take the same life elements, the same mixture, if you will, of all of the ideas in our mind and all of the feelings and all of the doubts and all of the regrets and all of the joys and all of the celebrations, and allow it to run through our mind and then act upon our hands and our feet and use our voice and create the fruit that we call our life. That is how we express God. That is how we express the strength that God is in us. We don't need to express the strength of God when it's all coming up roses. We don't need to express the intelligence or the wisdom or to transform a situation that's hopeless into one that is power-filled when everything is just falling into place. You say, I heard that there's this Hopi Indian saying, and it says you have to believe in gods to see them. You have to believe in faith to see it. You have to believe in a miracle to experience one. You have to believe in the prayer to express the answer to the prayer. And so ultimately, we're here every Sunday because we're people that recognize there is a journey that we follow God. And we feel the power of corporal worship, if you will, and celebration and prayer. And there's this awakening that I don't know if you all feel it, but I feel it on Sundays. I feel it in the music. I feel it, at times. And then I take that awakening and it sort of rolls like a tide or like a wave into my Monday and Tuesday. And, sometimes it crashes by Thursday. But I just feel this intelligence and this strength that we call God in our life. You see, every one of us are spiritually awake to some level, and we're spiritually asleep. And I believe the key to success, the key to fatherhood when we understand it as spiritual strength, is to recognize where we are in any moment and always reach to be more awake, to be more whole, to be more truthful. To recognize is such a clear verb. Re-cognize. It deals with our cognitive mental abilities. When we recognize somebody, if there's somebody on the other side of that parking lot and I don't know who they are, and I see them and I get closer and I get closer and I get closer, I recognize, oh my God, that's so-and-so. It's not that they actually changed. It was my view of who that person was walking changing. So what if that figure on the other side of the street was a tragedy, What if it was that overwhelming emotional hurt that I've been feeling? What if it was the diagnosis that the doctor gave me? What if it was the unknown? And my goal is just to see it for what it truly is. And I don't run away from it, actually, because when I recognize it, it's because I've become closer. And it's become closer than me. You see, these are moments where each one of us get to feel God at the greatest potential in our life. These are moments when our goal is to realize that this glimpse we have, that we all have, that time where God miraculously turned the situation around, that time, for you men, when the child was born, when life came to be. They're the glimpse of what is ultimately the eternal reality that we are called here to search for and to express. To search for God, to express God, is to recognize God in our lives. And these teachings I share with you, they're not new thought. They're not unity. They're not new Christian thought. They're ancient. Every great sage and every great philosopher that we know of through all of recorded history recognizes there is a presence, there is a power, there is an idea, there is a spirit, there is a breath, there is an understanding that we know of that can transcend our life's greatest challenges. Jesus the Christ that I study and believe and follow, he called this presence Abba. Abba. And that basically translates into English as daddy. It was a term of an endearment, a term of love, a term of closeness. It was not a formal, distant, understanding. Abba, daddy. And so when you recognize the power that there is a spirit or a source of life or a source of abundance or a divine idea that answers that prayer, it is a familiar, loving, close force, source, God, Christ, Holy Spirit. It is not a distant, far, formal monarchy that we need to sort of convince that we're worthy of that prayer. And so we think about unity and we say God is spirit, infinite mind, that intelligence manifests everywhere in nature. Just go to the beach, go to a forest, go to a jungle, go to a desert, go to, a glacier. Go to any ecological system on this planet and show me a spot where God is not. You won't find it. You won't find one place in all of creation. Show me under a microscope, electron microscope, no matter how small or great you can magnify it, a cell where God is not. Show me through a Hubble telescope the farthest, view that they can find. A galaxy, a solar system, a sun, a supernova, where God is not. And then look at our own lives and recognize the power and presence of God is in that same depth and magnitude. And God is always calling us out. God is always calling us to greater, to more, to deeper and more profound experiences in life. But sometimes the chatter drowns it out. And the only way that I've learned to overcome, the chatter is that idea called intuition. When I know that I know that I know, I don't need to explain it. Not even to myself. And this intuition that I share is that feeling nature of God. It is the wisdom of God. It is the intelligence of God. And when we combine that with the strength of God, there is nothing that we cannot do in our life. We don't even need words. Words will never express what God is. Words can only limit a situation when we're opening up to an idea that's greater. Words, can you ever feel overwhelmed, sad, hurt, and somebody tries to console you with words? Don't you feel like punching them sometime? Be truthful. Be truthful. Somebody tell the truth. You know, you're in church, tell the truth. When you're feeling terrible, when you're feeling horrible, when something just happened that rocked your world, and someone's trying to tell you it's okay, man, you know, you just want to... My lips are sealed. I'll let you use your own imagination. But the thing is the words. But you know what? You know what? Come on up, Sandra. Let me show you something. Sandra's distraught, and she comes to me, and she just, you know, gives it all to me. Watch this. I need to say a word. Thank you. It's that feeling nature. Sometimes someone just wants to be heard and hugged. And so, you know, there is nothing impossible to God. There is nothing impossible to God. The goal of this spiritual journey is not to describe God and not to explain God. It is to experience and express God. And one of the tools that we have through fatherhood, and we celebrated Mother's Day, through motherhood, one of the tools we have is relationship. And that's why we come to church, and that's why I'm calling everyone to invite people to this church. Relationship becomes a tool in this journey we call life. You see, relationships are what open us up to the deepest possible experience of God. Classes are great. Prayer is great. You know, retreats are great. All the outer things we do are great. But there's nothing that can express God deeper than a relationship. And so I'm inviting each of you to recognize you have that inner relationship with God. You just have to recognize it. That all the answers that we seek come from within. That God, as we understand God, is a God of miracles. Come on up, Tim. Yeah, come on up. We can use these outer experiences that we go through. The classes that we offer, the workshops, the Sunday services, the outer experiences, we can use them to recognize what is already in us. The knowing of ourselves is ultimately where God begins. And so let us believe today as we pray. We have a little prayer music. Let us just recognize the knowing of ourselves is where God begins. Let us believe there is no thing or no one in this world that ever has the power to hold us down. Let us know that every parent, every mother, every father has served their God-ordained role. We go forth today and we believe that every one of us is a part of God's great plan. We believe like Jesus the Christ, like Mother Teresa, like Gandhi, like Dr. King, that there is nothing impossible to each one of us. And we are here to make a difference in the world. We are here to be a part of a relationship. There are no limits, and the only limit comes from a voice in our head that says, you can't. That is not the voice of God. If someone has ever done something great in the past, ever, then you can do something great today. If someone has ever healed from a prayer or broken through a fear in the past from a prayer, then your prayer is important today. For if anyone has ever accomplished something that was labeled impossible. And you can accomplish anything today. I tell you that God says yes to strength and to wisdom. And so let's bring that God that I spoke about today into our lives from this moment forward. God bless you. Happy Father's Day.